It's not shocking to learn that China's cities are overflowing with people. This was the first country in the world with a population over a billion, after all, and is still the most populous country in world history so far. On the other hand, seeing just how populous China's top 10 cities are put things into another perspective entirely. Collectively, they're home to 260 million people, which is the same as the entire US minus California and New York State. So let's check out the 10 biggest Chinese cities. Before we start with the countdown, please don't forget to subscribe to Trip Extreme and press the bell icon to watch our videos first. Now that being done, here is number 10. Xi'an. Although many travelers still don't know Xi'an's name or recognize that it was once China's capital, it's nonetheless home to one of China's best known tourist attractions, the Terracotta Warriors. Then again, while a trip to the city of 12.9 million wouldn't be complete without paying a visit to the warriors, they merely scratch the surface. Spend your morning mounting the walls of the old city while marveling at the bell tower at midday and eating your way through the spicy Muslim quarter by night. Number 9. Hangzhou. As recently as a decade ago, many travelers thought of Hangzhou as a day or weekend trip destination from Shanghai. A walk around West Lake, a photo at Lingyan Temple, you are good to go. Hangzhou has since asserted itself as a destination in its own right, and not just because it has a population of 13.4 million, it's one of China's largest cities. Take advantage of non-stop flights to Hangzhou from Los Angeles on Xi'an Airlines and make a long weekend of your trip to this underrated city. Number 8. Tianjin. Just as Chongqing is only a short distance from Chengdu by train, Tianjin is sometimes referred to as the port of Beijing on account of its proximity to the capital. Don't mistake closeness as congruence. This city of 15 million has its own identity and then some. To be fair, Tianjin is dripping with a lot of the same irresistible heritage as its big brother to the northwest, from the Ming-era Drum Tower to the charming Temple of Great Compassion. Number 7. Chongqing. Chengdu is just a couple hours southeast of Chongqing by high-speed train, but it's a world away in terms of experience. Officially, Chongqing is smaller with 17 million people, although some population estimates of the aptly named world's largest village put its numbers above even Shanghai. And why do some refer to Chongqing as the world's largest village? Among other reasons, because many of the millions of people who now live in its skyscrapers lived on farms less than a decade ago. Interacting with them is one of the great joys of visiting the city, in addition to seeing a panorama of Nanshan Mountain, trying not to burn your tongue on spicy hot pot, or making a day trip to Fengru Ghost City. Number 6. Chengdu. Of all the huge Chinese cities that aren't Beijing or Shanghai, Chengdu is probably the one springing to the greatest global prominence these days. Although it's only home to 18 million people, Chengdu is the most important business center in southwestern China, the Sichuan province that surrounds it, serving as a transfer depot between Tibet, Southeast Asia, and the eastern reaches of mainland China. Chengdu is just as satisfying for travelers as it is for business people. However, delight in spicy Sichuan cuisine in the city center, take a heartwarming day trip to the Chengdu research base of giant panda breeding, or venture even further outward to enjoy the spellbinding beauty of the Xi'an village. Number 5. Wuhan. Located nearly 500 miles down the Yangtze from Shanghai, Wuhan feels like another world in many ways. The population is not one of them. Although you probably haven't heard of this central Chinese city, which is the capital of Hubei province and enjoys
Non-stop air service to San Francisco, its number of citizens puts it in the same league as Shanghai and other populous Chinese cities on this list, a cool 19 million. The most famous attraction in Wuhan is the 5-story pagoda of the Yellow Crane Tower. Number 4. Shenzhen. On most world maps, it would be impossible to discern Shenzhen from Guangzhou, which sits less than 100 miles away as the crow flies. To be sure, while both cities are part of the Pearl River Delta mega metro area, Shenzhen maintains its own unique identity. Or you might be more correct to say it's created it. Prior to the early 1970s, this modern city of more than 20 million had a statistically insignificant number of residents. Of course, Shenzhen is much more than the high-tech industry that has fueled its meteoric population growth in the past 5 decades, or the forest of steel and glass that stands as a monument to it. Number 3. Beijing. China's most important and longest standing capital, Beijing is probably the city most foreigners associate with China. This mega metropolis, however, is more than the smog with which the international media often associates it, and then 24 million people to which it can be quantified. With millennia of history, Beijing is a cultural tourist dream. Whether you spend your day exploring the ancient Forbidden City, pondering its juxtaposition with the Maoira Tiananmen Square, walk amid the towering skyscrapers of Guangzhou district, or make a day trip to the Great Wall, Beijing has something for everyone. Number 2. Guangzhou. Moving southeast from Shanghai from the Yangtze River Delta to the Pearl River Delta takes us to the city of Guangzhou, the most important in southern China's Guangdong province. Known historically as Canton, the seat of Cantonese language, culture, and cuisine, today's Guangzhou is a bustling industrial hub that's home to around 25 million people. While nearby Hong Kong, located just 2 hours by train, tends to siphon off most tourists in this part of China, there is plenty to do in Guangzhou. Number 1. Shanghai. Shanghai's population ranges from between 25 to 35 million, depending on where you look. Here and in other large Chinese cities, getting accurate population statistics can be daunting due to imprecise census techniques and large populations of migrant workers. Indeed, it takes only one glimpse at the city's sparkling Liujiazhui skyline over the Yangpu River for you to realize you are in one of the world's largest cities. Even if you don't go up in the emblematic Oriental Pearl Tower, Shanghai definitely lives up to its nickname, Pearl of the Orient. So, did you like any of these Chinese cities? If you did, then please let us know in the comment section below.